What is on tap for today's episode of Couz's Corner? We're talking conference expansion, conference realignment. We're talking the possibility of Oregon and Washington going to the Big 12 Conference. Is that an actual reality? And how would they look? So pull up a chair, sit back, relax, and let me pour you out this shot of top shelf college football content. Let's go. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Couz, and welcome in to this edition of Couz's Corner. So pull up that chair, and if you haven't yet, please hit that red subscribe button. Please give me the thumbs up on this video if you like it. Please share it out with your college sports-loving friends, and last but not least, drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this topic, which is, how will Oregon and Washington look compared to the new Big 12 Conference? Should the Big 12 add them if given the chance? And do I think these two teams will end up in the Big 12? So let's start off by looking at a spreadsheet. Now, if you remember, I did a video yesterday about the Big 12 potentially adding Utah, Arizona, Arizona State, and Colorado. I showed you a spreadsheet of how those teams stacked up with the new Big 12, and I looked at averages. Well, today I'm also looking at average, but I took it a step further. I listened to my viewers. A few of you said that I should tell how each team stacks up in the new Big 12 as far as where they rank, not just look at the average. So I tried to do that. The spreadsheet doesn't show that, but I will talk to that data. So let's look at a spreadsheet on the screen right now for you. When you look at Oregon and Washington compared to the new Big 12, now when I say new Big 12, that means Texas and Oklahoma are not included in the rankings. However, they were included in the TV viewership numbers, okay? Because that's the only numbers I have access to. I didn't have time to, it would take days to sit down and do a game-by-game summary of each team's TV ratings. I don't have that kind of time, but this still directionally will give you an idea. And plus, the Oregon and Washington numbers include USC and UCLA, so I think it evens out in that regard. So I don't think the numbers would be skewed that much. Now, when you look at average academic rank, Oregon is ranked an average ranking of 172, and that's taking the average of U.S. News and World Report with the Wall Street Journal. Washington, academic rank average of 52, which is really, really good. And the Big 12 average is 217. So Washington would by far be the best academic school in the Big 12 were they to join the conference. Oregon would be about middle of the pack, just to give you an idea. Average TV viewers per week. You've got Oregon, 1.3 million per week average. Washington, also 1.3 million per week average. The new Big 12 average would be 875,000. Where does that rank? Well, that would put both schools tied with West Virginia for the third largest TV viewership numbers in the conference, behind TCU and Oklahoma State. So for those people who might say West Virginia doesn't have a good brand, I think this helps prove you wrong, because they stack up with Washington and Oregon, two highly regarded national programs in TV viewership numbers. Now, back to the topic at hand. You look at the average fan base size rank. Oregon, the 27th largest fan base in the country. Washington, the 32nd largest in the country. Big 12 average is 55. Once again, Oregon would by far have the largest fan base in the Big 12, and Washington would be third, once again tied with West Virginia for the third largest fan base in the conference. Then you've got the football 5-year rank. This is the success of their football programs in the past 5 years. Oregon is at 21st nationally, which is really good. Washington 17th nationally, which is even better. Both are much higher than the Big 12 average of 56. Washington would be the highest in the Big 12 in football rankings in the last 5 years were they to join, and Oregon would be third behind TCU. So that's where those teams stack up with the current Big 12, or the new Big 12, I should say, which is what the conference will look like once Texas and Oklahoma leave and BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF join. So let's look at each individual team with Oregon and Washington. So what would Oregon add to the conference? Obviously, a little bit better academics, but wouldn't really move the needle there much. They would bring you a highly successful football program who played for a national championship in the past 8 years and have played for 2 national championships in the past 15 years. Just a great brand overall. Would improve TV viewership for the league, in my opinion, because, like I said, they would be tied for third in the conference. They would bring you the largest fan base in the conference, improved reputation in the league overall, or of the league overall. Right now, most of the nation looks at the Big 12 as they just don't respect them. They don't look at them as a legit Power 5 league because of Texas and Oklahoma leaving. You bring somebody in like Oregon, I think it brings legitimacy and respect back to the Big 12. And then you've got the Portland, Oregon market is the 21st largest media market in the country. Not a massive media market, but decent. And I know the University of Oregon is not in Portland, but I'm sure they do capture a lot of that market. Now, what would Washington add? Obviously, if you bring Oregon and Washington together, you get a tie-in and potential rivalry between those two in conference. Once again, it would greatly improve the league's reputation, not only on the field, but in this case, academically. Washington is a great academic program. Matter of fact, I'll talk about it later, but it wouldn't surprise me to see them end up in the Big Ten, actually. They have a large fan base. Like I said, would be the third largest in the league behind West Virginia. Good TV numbers. Tied for third with West Virginia and Oregon were they to join. And then they bring the Seattle-Washington media market, which is the 12th largest market in the United States. So there again, a great media market that the Big 12 really needs right now because they do not have that many large media markets. They've got the Dallas-Fort Worth market with TCU, but they really share that with a lot of other teams. And then you've got the Houston market now, which is a good market, but Seattle would bring you another really large market. Now, do I think the Big 12 should add these teams if they have the chance? Abso-freaking-lutely. These teams will be home runs for the Big 12. Now, would it be great for my team, West Virginia? Not really, because it would make our travel even more brutal. However, if it means West Virginia remains a Power 5 team, then I'm all for it. I won't be crazy about it. I won't love the idea. But you know what? If West Virginia doesn't have any other options and they have to stay in the Big 12 and it's their best option financially, then what, it is what it is. That's the world we live in today, unfortunately. Geography means absolutely nothing anymore in the world of college athletics, as we have seen with these latest moves with UCLA and USC. So if it makes the Big 12 a better brand and West Virginia has to stay in the Big 12 or does stay in the Big 12, and this is our best option, then I'm all for it. I would love to see us get some teams from the ACC as well, but that's another day and another video. Now, do I think Washington and Oregon go to the Big 12? I actually don't. I think at least one, if not both of these teams, will eventually end up in the Big 10. Once Notre Dame makes their decision on what they're going to do, then I think Big 10 will make a decision on what they're going to do. And I think Washington definitely ends up in the Big 10 at some point, and I think Oregon has a good chance. The only thing about Oregon is when you look at their academic numbers, they're not very good, at least not up to Big 10 standards. So that might potentially keep Oregon out of the Big 10. However, the Big 10 might do it anyway just to have more West Coast teams and also to get that Oregon brand, which is extremely attractive nationally. So let me know, Cougars Corner family, what you think about these two teams potentially coming to the Big 12. Do you think they end up in the Big 12? Do you think the Big 12 should add them or not? Let me know what your thoughts are. Your opinion is just as important as my opinion. Also, don't forget, if you're watching this on 4th of July, take advantage right now of the 22% off one-day only sale in my merch store. Link is above my head. Go check it out now. I'm also leaving the link in my description box at the very top. Go to my merch store. Check out all the different merch options I have to offer. 3 different designs, actually 4 different designs for you, different color variations of some of those designs. So go check it out right now. Take advantage of the one-day sale. And heck, if you missed the one-day sale, I still have pretty good deals in my merch store for you to check out. Also, you can support me financially by hitting the join button right below this video. If you don't want to support me financially and you want to support me for free, it's the big 4 that every YouTuber asks for. Like, share, comment, subscribe. All of that's free. It all only takes a second, and it all helps me out and helps my channel and my videos get boosted and promoted more through YouTube. So, with that being said, I really appreciate you tuning into this episode. And until the next one, Q Country Roads.